Hello, Mari and Kylie. This is your video. As you know, we're going to be going through No Passengers Beyond This Point, hopefully together, okay? I know I'm going to be reading this out loud to you, but I highly encourage you to go grab your copies right now, pause the video, okay? And read along with me because I'm trying to help you with your work, but I'm not going to do it for you, which should come as no surprise to you after all, because you know me. In any case, we are going to be reading chapter 8, as you requested, which begins on page 63, called Travels with Chuck. By the way, I've never read this book before. I have heard of it, but I have not read this book, and because I'm starting in the middle, I don't actually know how old all of these characters are, so if my voices don't match their ages, etc., I apologize. It's because I wasn't able to find... I tried to do some research on this book, but I wasn't able to find a lot of information about these characters, so I don't actually know how old they are, so I'm guessing. So, there's that. Anyway. Chapter 8, Travels with Chuck. Bing says it's time to wake up, but I fall asleep again. I can't do everything Bing says, you know. India is bossy enough. I think we've only been sleeping a few hours, but it's late morning already, and we are still in the car with Feathers. When are we going to get to Uncle Red's? India and Finn are asleep. India has her head by the door, her hair stuck with spit to her mouth. Finn is curled up on the seat. He looks like a comma. I checked to see if he has grown any pimples overnight. That's a little bit rude. None. Good. Bing is already up. That is the nice thing about an invisible friend. He is always up before me. I never have to even be 1 minute without him. I'm always his favorite person, too. I'm no one else's favorite person. Pluto probably wasn't either, so they kicked him out of the solar system. I hope they don't kick me out of the solar system. I watch for signs that say, not the solar system, but I don't see any. Bing is chatty this morning. Usually he doesn't notice other people that much, but he says Mr. Chuck is a good guy and we should trust him. I spy on Mr. Chuck, but he doesn't do anything interesting. He just drives. That's all. How come you get to drive? I ask. I see Chuck's dimples in the rearview mirror. He's taken off his jacket, which says, Travels with Charles, in thread above the pocket. Good morning, Mouse. I was just about to wake you up. How come you don't need a driver's license? I have one, Chuck says. Does it have a picture on it? Yes. How old are you? 12. You can't get a driver's license when you're 12. Otherwise, Finn and India would have them. Things are different here. Yeah, I know. My mom doesn't have the right teaching credenza. Well, that's too bad. I would have liked to have met her, Chuck says, and then points through the windshield. Mouse, look up in the sky, over on the left there. In the bright blue sky, there are no clouds, but in big white writing it says, Welcome, Mouse. I can read it even though it's in cursive. I don't like to read cursive as much, though. They never put cursive in books, and I'm glad about that. How'd they know I was coming? I ask. Everybody knows you're coming. Does the president know? Of course. Now, wake your brother and sister. They won't want to miss this. India! India! I jiggle the leather fringe on her vest, which she tells me never to pull on, or she will hang me upside down out the window when we are driving on the freeway, after she gets her license, and she can finally drive. My name is in the sky, and the president knows! She jerks upright and scrunches her face like she can't pull her eyes out of her dreams. Huh? I point to the sky outside the window. Finn is awake now, too. He's not a comma anymore. He is back to being straight like an exclamation point. What the heck, India? Your name's in the sky. My name? India is really interested now. There! Finn points, and India and I scooch over until we can see, Welcome, India. Me too, I tell Finn, pointing to my name. Uh-oh. I lean forward to whisper to Chuck, "What about Finn? You forgot about him." "He's up ahead," Chuck says. And then, a minute later, we see "Welcome Finn Tompkins" out the front window, just as the W in Welcome Mouse is beginning to droop. "How come Finn gets his last name too?" "Because people need to know Finn's last name," Chuck answers. Finn makes a funny gulp. Finn likes to write his whole name on things. I don't know why. "But how to get up there? Is there some computer program that does that?" I ask. "No, we just have planes," Mr. Chuck explains. "We've got every kind of pilot here, so lots of skywriters. Look what we're passing now." A big shiny truck and a giant trailer are up ahead. Painted on the side of the trailer is a huge heart. Chuck pushes the feather taxi faster, and we practically fly by. The side of the truck says, "We love India, Finn, and Mouse." "The truck loves us?" I ask. Chuck smiles. "Everybody loves you today. This is the best part of my job." How could the trucking company know in time to get the trucks painted? Finn wants to know. Sparky is in charge of information, and then Francine and Mary Carroll are good at coordinating. Together the three of them can do anything. Sparky and Francine don't get along well, though, Chuck says. We're approaching a city now. A beautiful city that's all sparkly white and silver, with colors streaming out of it like a prism in my classroom. "Is that Denver?" India asks. "No, it's not Denver, remember?" I say. "That's Falling Bird," Chuck says. "FB is for Fort Baker, isn't it, Mr. Chuck? Isn't it?" I say. "FB stands for Fort Baker, but in this case it means Falling Bird," Chuck tells me. "How far is it from Falling Bird to Fort Baker?" Finn asks. "It is a bit of a detour, I'm afraid," Chuck says. "Wait, does Uncle Red know about the detour?" India asks. "Yes," Mr. Chuck says. "The road is full of cars now, and each has a sign in the window. 'Welcome, India, you are so beautiful. Sing for us,' one says. 'Mouse is our favorite,' another says. 'Finn rules,' and then, 'Ask Mouse, she knows everything,' and so does Bing." "But Mr. Chuck, how do they know Bing? He didn't have a real seat on the plane, and I've never told Uncle Red about him." "Like I said, Sparky doesn't miss a thing," Mr. Chuck says. "I wish you would slow down. I want to say hello to the people who think I know everything. Bing does too. He thinks I know everything, except what he knows. We are side-by-side refrigerators full of knowing, Bing and me. We're driving under a big Welcome to Falling Bird arch now. It's made of prisms and light. 'Welcome to Falling Bird' is written in pink light on the road. On the sidewalk, people are waving to us. When we drive up, they all cheer." "How could Sparky have told all these people?" I ask India. "Did you post this online?" Finn wants to know. "Uncle Red must have arranged this," India offers. "Is Uncle Red rich?" Finn asks. "He must be," India says. "Well, he sure knows a lot of people," I say, reading all of the signs. "We love Mouse. Yay for India. Some have mouse noses and ears. Some are dressed as basketball players. MVP Finn Tompkins," one guy's basketball shirt says. Every guy has the number 48, Finn's basketball number. "Why are they carrying pictures of Henry?" Finn asks. "She's your dog," Chuck says. "But how'd they know her name and what she looks like?" "Henry is important to you, so of course we know about her." "How far are we from Uncle Red's?" "That I don't know," Chuck answers. "You need to take us back to the airport," Finn insists. "If Uncle Red arranged all this, then it must be okay," India says. Oh, sorry, that was the wrong voice. "If Uncle Red arranged all this, then it must be okay," India says. Each light post is a bird's nest with bulbs that are eggs. Feathers fall out of the sky. Pictures of a dark blue night sky with one piece of day sky are all around, and movies are everywhere. On the roof, on the sidewalks, on the treetops, and even in some windows. People in Falling Bird must really like movies. And guess what? We're in them. There's India doing cartwheels with Maddie. India singing in the choir. Finn shooting baskets with our cousins watching. Finn and Henry on Finn's bed. Me explaining decimals to 5th graders. Me riding horses with Mommy. Our life is up there, I say. Chuck smiles. We know how to make you feel welcome. So many people are watching. Too many to count. Even the fast way where you multiply one side by the other. People don't stand in rows unless they are in a marching band or the army. Chuck parks the feather cab under a shady tree full of pink flowers. Everybody watches the skyboards. We hear them ooh and ah and clap. It's like when I was student of the week, only better. After a few minutes, the same movies begin again, and Chuck drives back onto the driving part of the road. The cars and buses and carts all honk and flash their lights like we are famous. Chuck turns onto the street with big homes and parks in the front yard of one. People on both sides shout our names. He takes off his cap and his mustache and puts them in his hat. Are they itchy? I asks. He shrugs. I just wear them because they make my passengers feel more comfortable when I pick them up. Chuck says, Now, he leans over the seat. I need to tell you a few things. This is important, okay? Chuck has messy hair that looks like he needs his mommy to cut it for him. He is nice. Bing is right about that. When you're done, I'm available to take you wherever you want, as long as it's within your time. Unless, of course, another flight comes in, and then I have to meet that one. Couldn't you take us to Uncle Red's now? Finn asks, as the crowd outside sings, Tompkins! Tompkins! But if Uncle Red arranged all this, we can't refuse to do it. It'll hurt his feelings, India insists. Tompkins! Tompkins! People keep saying our name. You won't want to miss this, trust me. It's the most incredible experience of your life. Just keep your eye on the time, because it will be different for each of you. That's the first thing to remember. Excuse me, Mr. Chuck. The time is the same for everybody. 3 o'clock for me is 3 o'clock for you. Kids get confused sometimes, so I have to explain things to them. Chuck puts up his hand. Just try to follow, okay? Each of you is an individual, and you have your own personal time. I'm not confused. It's you that's confused, Mr. Chuck, I tell him. Wait, why are you saying this? You're not going to leave us, are you? I'm afraid so. Now, second thing, if you want me after, just call. But it has to be all 3 of you. They won't let me come for just one. Bit of a vehicle shortage, I'm afraid. Carpooling is encouraged here. After what? Finn asks. Of course it would be all 3 of us, Mr. Chuck, sir, I tell him. My mom said India has to stay with us, and Finn is always here. India crosses her arm. Look, you can't just leave us. Chuck unrolls the window. He tips his head towards the people shouting, Tompkins! Tompkins! Listen to that, Chuck says. He has the doors open and the feathers up. He must have an open all the seat belts button, because I did not touch mine, and it's unbuckled. If we want you after what? Finn insists. Yeah, after what, Mr. Chuck? Wait, India buckles her seatbelt again. How will we call you? You said the cell didn't work here. And anyway, I don't have your number. Chuck smiles, the nice smile with the dimples. Oh, thanks, India. I almost forgot. Here. He gives a piece of wood to each of us. A piece of wood? Put the pieces together and I will be there. I turn the wood over in my hand. It's carved with one leaf growing from a small branch at the top. It smells of trees. Each one looks like this, only different. It's a puzzle. But before I can put it together, we are out of the car. Only I never told my arms or legs to get out. It isn't a bumpy getting out of the car either. It's smooth, like when Mommy puts honey in the microwave. I put the piece of wood in my pocket and I grab my blue roller bag. The air smells like flowers, dirt, and peanut butter cookies. Every step is springy, like my feet are bouncing balls. People sing out our names. My name makes a beautiful song. almost as nice as Bing's. Look, see, the Tompkins 3! People chant as Chuck waves goodbye. My feet know where they're going. I want to ask Bing how that's possible, but he's busy looking at everything. My feet walk me up the sidewalk made of smooth, flat stones. The walk splits into 3 paths. Between the white stones are gray stones that make a giant M for mouse and a small B for Bing. There's an F for Finn on Finn's path and an I for India on the end one. The paths lead to big homes like on TV. India's is teenagery, sparkly with gold hangy things and a rug with India's name in bright letters. There are round, pink, lime green, and orange lights and a polka dot carpet inside the open door. A fluffy white cat sits on the window seat. Finn's home is made of wood with a gray stone chimney. It has big windows and trees all around. It is an olden day house that smells like a fireplace and looks like a bear might visit soon. On the side is the basketball court with a real scoreboard and places for Mommy and me to sit and watch Finn. What, not India? Why is she left out? Finn is staring at his house with his mouth open like at the dentist. India is walking up her sidewalk. My home is yellow with white trim, a porch swing, pots with flowers, and clouds of butterflies, hummingbirds, and fireflies everywhere. It is glowy with yellow light. My house is better than Finn's or India's. In the doorway is a lady with red curly hair like mine. She has a science book in one hand, a plate of peanut butter chocolate chip cookies in the other. I can smell them. That's how I know. Pluto, she reads, is the 9th planet in the solar system. I don't know who this strange person is. She isn't like my mommy at all. This mommy is better. Well, I hope you don't tell your real mommy that, Mouse, because she might not appreciate it. So, Mari and Kylie, that concludes Chapter 8. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope that it proves to be helpful to you with your work and these book reports. Remember, this is to help you with your work, not to do your work for you or replace it. So I know you are actually required to read this, so please actually read this. Other than that, if you have questions, leave a comment down below. Please leave a like if this was helpful, because it'll let me know if this is something that you want to continue doing. Because if it's not helpful, if it was boring, if it was uninteresting, then I also need to know so that I don't continue recording you more videos. Otherwise, I'm more than happy to do this. Ooh, almost fell. But please let me know so that I know whether or not we need to do a story time for Chapter 9 and beyond. In any case, I will see you guys later. Bye.